Hey everyone, it's Anet, and today I want to show you how to create a scrapbook layout with some interactive layouts. And I want to thank Jenny Heslop for this beautiful inspiration on making this scrapbook layout in a different way and adding some interactive layouts. I attended her class a while back ago, and now I'm just going to show you how to incorporate some interactive layouts into your scrapbook layout. What I'm going to use is the ephemera die set of the sweeping planes, and it's just having this beautiful embellishments. And I'm also going to use the sweeping planes sentiment set. I'm going to use the Ultimate Crafts paperback cardstock. And I will be also using 3 of the Sweeping Planes pattern paper, and this pattern paper are just so beautiful, just having such beautiful detail. You're also getting these postcards, which I will be also adding onto my scrapbook layout. To save some time, I've already used a stencil with some gesso onto this beautiful Sweeping Planes pattern paper. It's double-sided because this needs to dry before you're actually adding anything towards the layout, and I have done this now already, and I think it just came out beautiful with this cracking detail. So all of what I've done is I have cut the top part of the short strip off, and don't throw that away, just keep it because I'm going to use that on some of the interactive layouts. I've already also cut a piece of another Sweeping Planes pattern paper. This is one of the interactive layouts. This measures 6.5 inches by 12 inches, and it's also double-sided, and I'm just going to score it at the 12-inch side at 5 inch and 5.5 inch. And now I'm just going to fold it, and here I've folded the score lines. I've added some double-sided tape here in the middle of the score lines, and this will be added onto the base of the scrapbook layout. I've also cut a piece of another Sweeping Planes pattern paper. This is for the second interactive layout, and this measures 7.5 inch by 9.25 inch. I'm just going to score it at the 7.5 inch side, a half inch in. So with my scoreboard here, I'm just going to score it at 7 inch. And here you can see I've folded the score lines, and I've added some double-sided tape on the other side of the Sweeping Planes pattern paper, and this will be the side which you will be adhering at the base of the scrapbook layout. I've also cut a piece of the paperback cardstock. This measures 6.25 by 8.75, and I'm going to score it at the 8.75 side at 4 3/8. I've already folded the score line, and this will be this third interactive layout that I will be adding onto the scrapbook layout base. The Sweeping Planes dies, which I'm going to use on the scrapbook layout, is this one is called the Sitting on the Fence die. This is the Bloomin' Protea die. This is called the Barbed Wire die. I will also be using the Australian Animals. It's having a stamp as well as a die. I will be using the kookaburra, also a stamp, and also some dies. And this one is called the kangaroo. It's also having a stamp with 2 dies. Another collection is the Steampunk Dreams. This is the mesh die, and this is part of the Distress Tags dies. Another collection of the Couture creations that I will be using is the Sunburn Country collection. This is called the Australian Flourish. This is a cut, fuller and embossed dies, and I just love these dies. I have the Acacia Bronze die. This is the Eucalyptus Branch die. This is the Fenced In die. And this is the Good Day Mate die. And this is the Road Trip die that I will also be using. Then another collection is the Australiana collection. And this is the Grass Tree die. This is part of the Old Farm Court die. And I will also be using the Rusty Old Ute die. Before I can die cut with the kookaburra and the kangaroo sweeping planes stamps and dies, I need to stamp the kookaburra and the kangaroo stamps. I'm going to use the stamping block to stamp the kookaburra and the kangaroo. And here you can see how beautiful these sweeping planes stamps have stamped this beautiful kookaburra and kangaroo with the protea and the leaf. Just beautiful detail. And now I can die cut. Before I can die cut with the Australian Animals die, I want to heat emboss the Australian Animals stamp and then die cut with it. Here you can see how beautiful the Australian Animal Sweeping Planes stamp have heat embossed, and now I'm just going to die cut with it. So I've placed all the Sweeping Planes die cuts with cardstock here onto the A4 cutting plate of the Go Power and Emboss machine, and I'm just going to die cut it with the Go Power and Emboss machine. I've put the machine on, and I'm just going to place this inside. And you can just put it through until you feel that lock, and then you can just press run. Just put the machine off, and you can see I just needed to run it just once through the Go Power and Emboss machine to die cut with the dies. I'm now going to die cut with the Sunburn Country Australian Flourish cut, full and emboss die. I love these dies. You can do so much with them. You can foil with this cut, full and emboss dies, or you can ink and die cut, which I'm going to show you now. So I'm just inking it with some Card Deco pigment gold ink, and I've already cut a piece of the Ultimate Crafts paperback cardstock, and I'm just putting it onto my cutting plate. Now with the Couture Creations Go Power and Emboss machine, you can die cut with the A4 cutting plates that's coming with the machine, or you can use your other die cutting machine cutting plates, which I will be using now. I'm just placing the Ultimate Crafts paperback cardstock on top of that, and my cutting plate. Just put my machine on. feed it in and just press run. Look how beautiful this cut full and embossed Australian Florist Sunburn Country cut full and embossed dies have inked and die cut. It's just beautiful. I'm now going to heat emboss with the Sweeping Plains stamps. This one is called the Fair Dinkum stamp. I'm going to heat emboss the Australia, the Beauty and the Good on You stamp. And I'm also going to heat emboss with Adventure stamp. This is a previous collection, Sunburn Country stamp, that I will also be heat embossing. I've already cut a piece of the Ultimate Crafts paperback cardstock, and I'm now going to heat emboss with these stamps. Just look how beautiful the Sweeping Plains stamps have embossed. And now the fun part is going to start. I have die cut all the die cuts and I've colored it. I've heat embossed the stamps and sentiments, and I've also colored it. And now I'm going to add the interactive layouts onto the scrapbook layout. The first one that I'm going to add is the one that measures 6.5 by 12 inches, and I'm going to add it here just half an inch from the left hand side onto the scrapbook layout. I've already added some double-sided tape here in between the scored lines, and this is the part that I'm going to adhere to the scrapbook layout. It's very important to add the first layout with the shorter area on top and the longer area at that shows to the bottom. So how this first interactive layout is working, you have a flap that's opening towards this side, and then you have this flap opening here like this and closing again. I'm going to add my first photo here onto the longest section down here, and now I'm going to embellish it here on the top and here on the bottom. The second photo, and this is going to go just behind this flap here. So now that I've laid out the embellishments where I want it, I'm just going to add it to the scrapbook layout. I'm going to add the third photo, and I'm just going to put this down and lift this up, and I'm going to add the photo here. And now that I've laid out the die cuts and ephemera, I'm just going to add it onto the scrapbook layout. To add the second interactive layout onto the scrapbook layout. I'm going to add this half an inch from the right hand side here, and 1.5 inch from the bottom here. I'm now going to add the 4th and 5th photo here onto the front of the second interactive layout. I'm just going to add a title here at the bottom. Now I'm going to add the card with some 2 photos at the back of this second layout. As you remembered, I told you the strips that you actually cut from the pattern paper on the top you have to keep, and I'm going to add these 2 strips here onto this card here. This card I'm going to add at the bottom here, and I've already added some double-sided tape. And here I've added photo 6, and now I'm going to open this. And now that I lay out the embellishments in the photo, I'm going to adhere it to the card. And now I'm going to add some embellishments here on the top. I'm going to add some embellishments here. It's done. Just look how beautiful this is. Such beautiful interaction. Oh, I just love this scrapbook layout. I hope you enjoyed my video on how to create a interactive scrapbook layout. Thank you for joining me. I will be back soon. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye bye.